You're going to the bathroom? Thank God. You start out with gratitude. Then you can go to the bathroom. When you can't go to the bathroom, that's a terrible thing. So recognize that it's a miracle that you could go to the bathroom and be grateful that it's working today, right? The first thing, that I want to share with you tonight is just simple pieces of advice, but there's so many pieces of advice, and there's so many different paths and ways and tools in order to bring out the joy, to bring in the joy, to experience the joy, the strength, and the happiness, because a human being is made of almost an infinite amount of facets and dimensions, right? Depending how old, how young, depending whether it's a male or a female, depending on so many different other. Every single person is different than the other. No two people are the same. So they need to be addressed in different kinds of ways. And there is a essential way that everybody is the same. And that's why we go to the doctor, because there's certain pathologies, there are certain human nature which is the same for most people before it turns into the specific identity of each individual. So let me share with you just some of the ideas that are helpful to everybody in order that they be able to tap in and be able to experience more of that joy, more of that happiness, more of that tranquility in life. And the first thing is built in already to our Jewish tradition. That is the first thing we do when we open up our eyes. The sages already designed our day and our life in such a way that it should bring about all the possibilities of being able to serve God. That's what the sages are about. That's what the prophets are about. These are messengers that are meant to share with us the messages of the Torah, of God's wisdom, in order to make us more in line with God's mission here in this world. So what did the sages instruct and design the day? The first thing we do is we say, Modeh ani lefanecha, which is we are acknowledging the fact that we woke up. We're not just the first thing we do and the alarm clock rings, we're swearing that we had to wake up, or we're saying, no, not another day, or whatever else can go on as well. No, the first thing, as a matter of fact, Rabbi Shneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he once told his wife, the Rebbitzin, that his most favorite prayer of the day is the Modeh Ani. Imagine how much strength and depth there must be then in that prayer, that the holiest person that I know said this is his most favorite prayer. If prayer is a matter of connecting with God, that's what really prayer should be. It's much more than just asking God for our own personal needs, but prayer is more a matter of connecting with God. And Rabbi Shneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, said that the Modeh Ani is his most favorite way of connecting with God. This teaches us a huge, big lesson. The beginning of prayer every single day is Hodu Lashem Kiru Bishmo, which means acknowledge God, those that call his name. In other words, we're acknowledging, we're offering gratitude. And this is such an important quality that we need to develop. Let me say something else while I'm talking to you, and that is, there is no way to put anything in your world and in your life by just paying money or putting in a battery or getting a chip into your nose and into your brain. That doesn't work that way. The way to improve your life is conscientious effort, slow and conscientious effort to the place you want to reach. So, a lot of us it comes easier, a lot of us it comes a little harder, a lot of us haven't behaved in this way, so our habits are not in line with this type of attitude. But this is a very, very important behavior that we should either strengthen or that we should consider taking on upon ourselves, and that is to be more grateful for the miracles that God give us. Listen, if you're on tonight living in the United States and listen to me on Zoom, You are better off than the majority of the people in the world. I watch the news, you know what's going on, the fights, the wars, the killing, the lack of food, what's going on all over the world. You're, thank God, in a home with a roof over your head. You're listening to me through a computer. Uh, you have ears and eyes to be able to see and to be able to hear. You are so far ahead of so many other people who don't have all that. So it's important to recognize the areas in our life that deserve gratitude. And this is so important because not only when a person is grateful, he can't be angry when a person is grateful. When a person is truly grateful, he's not angry. He's not angry about the world or about anything else. And when he puts his mind into being grateful, he is not going to be angry. He's not going to be fearful of anything because right now he's focused on the miracles and on the goodness that he has in his life. So that's number one. I'm moving along. I'm going to move along at a fast pace, I think, because I have a lot to say. And I'm going to give you much more than you ever imagined and that you get on a regular. You know, I listen to other talks. Sometimes you can go through an entire hour and you can distill everything the guy said in maybe 10 minutes. Not me and not in tonight's webinar. So we're going to go through a lot of stuff. And like I said, each one of these things can be expanded and expounded upon for a class or two class or three classes in itself. So that's number one. Let's just leave it with that. And that's why I told you take out a piece of paper and a pen or whatever you do to write down notes. I can't understate how important it is to be grateful, to recognize the good things in life, even when you go through something which is harsh and what appears to be no good, but look for the silver lining around it. It's going to help so much going through life when you can only see or when you can focus more on the positive side. The next thing, when a person wakes up and he says Moda Ani, or he begins with giving grace and gratitude to God, is you got to live in the moment. Success is only in the moment in whatever a person does. That's already an old saying from the Hasidic masters. That is where a person sees success. He makes the best out of every moment when he lives in the moment. You get out of bed, and I don't know if you're going to the bathroom, which is a mitzvah to do, that a person relieves themselves of everything before they go out and do their morning prayers and everything else. All right? Stay focused on that. A lot of people, they wake up and the first thing they do, they're starting to think and they're starting to listen and they're starting to whatever else. No, just stay focused on the moment. Clean your teeth and think about that you have toothpaste and you have teeth to go and brush. And you gotta stay more focused on the moment than let the fears and the anxiety and the thoughts steal you from the moment that you're in. And this is a lesson throughout the day. But right from the beginning of the day, these are the things that we have to train ourselves to do. You're going to the bathroom, stay focused on the fact that you're right now, thank God. You start out with gratitude. Then you can go to the bathroom. I had an operation some time ago, and when you can't go to the bathroom, that's a terrible thing. So recognize that it's a miracle that you could go to the bathroom and be grateful that it's working today, right? And appreciate this moment that you can go to the toilet. As crazy as that, funny as that sounds, but it's true. If you will relish and appreciate that moment, it's going to put a smile on your face. It's going to give you something else to be thankful and hopeful about. The next thing is you get out of bed. Don't feed laziness. Don't feed laziness by pushing the snooze button. Okay, maybe once in a blue moon you do push the snooze button, you went to bed late or whatever, but on a regular basis, you got to get into the habit of getting out of bed, jumping out of bed and moving on, not getting onto the habit of being lazy. And we're going to get into that. I don't think tonight we're going to have a chance to do that, but a person has to have a dream. A person has to have a purpose. A person has to have a mission. And when you have a purpose and when you have a mission, you have something big in your life that you dream about, but even if you're not working and you're retired, you have to create a purpose and a mission in life. For some people, it's just that I can pray today and I can meditate and I can go out and see my spouse and my children, my grandchildren, or I can listen to the chirping of the birds and express gratitude to God for a beautiful universe that He created. Get out of bed and do that. Don't stay in bed and feed laziness. It's also it's something that is movement to the body. Movement to the body is very good. When you sit on your couch and you sit back and you feed that laziness, a lot of other bad things go along with that. Laziness is not a good is not a good habit to get into. There's one thing about resting for a purpose, but there's another thing to keep on saying, I can't get out of bed. It's so warm here under the covers. No, you slept. That's it. The day is now starting. Get out. Be grateful, as we said, right? Do what you're supposed to and move on. Another very important thing is when a person does finally get out of bed and he gets dressed, you got to be focused on, we say the morning blessings, and we're expressing all this thankfulness and gratefulness to God for waking up and for being able to put on our clothes and for being able to get up and stand on our 2 feet and all the blessings that we say. And then the last paragraph in the morning blessings talk about the great things that we can get involved in. And we go on with that paragraph and we talk about and we talk about all these things that are about serving, of being of service. And this is maybe one of the biggest ideas that will help a person eliminate depression or unhappiness or laziness in life, and that is being focused on what can I do to make the world a better place? How can my existence help make somebody else or the world a better place? When a person is thinking on a outside kind of focus rather than always me, the source of depression is me. Person becomes what's called in quantum physics a black hole. He starts eating himself up with the gravity of his own identity. And then he becomes like a black hole that even anything that's around him starts getting sucked in to this place, which is black, not white. It's not illuminated. It's not light, which is good for the person and good for anything around them. And so a very, very important idea is that a person should right away in the morning start thinking to themselves, what am I going to be? What am I going to do to make a difference in this world? So those are just, simple ideas that the Torah tells us, and that is built in already into the beginning of our day to make us happy and make us joyous and make us in this kind of frame of mind and in this emotional place that will lift us up instead of pulling us down and making us heavy.